Hello students, welcome back to the Unit 2, Part 2 Geography Lesson. Poem Geography Lesson written by Zulfikar Ghosh. Now let us learn about the poet. Zulfikar Ghosh is a Pakistani-American novelist, poet and an essayist. Ghosh has written both poetic and prosic fictional and non-fictional works. His books of poetry include The Violent West, A Memory of Asia. He was born on 13th March 1935. Now, before going to the poem, there's an introduction given. Can you imagine what your city would look like if you saw it from 10,000 feet above the ground? Is it neatly planned and perfect in proportion, like a geometric design? It would strike you as something very difficult from what it actually is while you're in the thick of it. It means when you're traveling on a flight and you're given a window seat, you might be curious enough to look down how the city is. The poet has the same feeling. He sees the ground and he finds it neatly planned and perfect in proportion, like a geometric design. But he does not understand this while he is living in the city. Now here's a poet's description of just such a view of the city and some of the questions that come to his mind. The first stanza. When the jet sprang into the sky, it was clear why the city had developed the way it had. Seeing it scaled 6 inches to the mile, there seemed an inevitability about what on ground had looked haphazard, unplanned and without style, when the jet sprang into the sky. When the jet sprang into the sky, it was clear why the city had developed the way it had. Sprang means rise. Seeing it scaled 6 inches to the mile, there seemed an inevitability. Inevitability means the quality of being certain or being sure about what on ground had looked haphazard. Haphazard means without plan or order. Unplanned and without style, where the jet sprang into the sky. Now the explanation for stanza 1. When the jet or the plane sprang or lifted into the sky, and when he looked out of the window, everything looked so small that a mile seemed like 6 inches. So when the plane took off, and when the poet looked out from the window, everything below looked so small, and that even a mile seemed like 6 inches. The poet continues to say that it is certain when you look from above, everything looks developed, but not in plan or order. So he says, when you look from above, everything looks developed, but not in plan or order. It's not planned or orderly done. The poet repeats the first line again to confirm that he saw all this when he was in the plane. So the first and the last line are repeated to confirm that the poet is again traveling on the flight. Coming to stanza 2, when the jet reached 10,000 feet, it was clear why the country had cities where the rivers ran and why the valleys were populated. The logic of geography that land and water attracted man was clearly delineated when the jet reached 10,000 feet. Here also the first line is again repeated at the last to show that the flight is reached up to 10,000 feet. The meaning of the word logic is the action of thinking about something in a sensible way. To think of actions that is in a sensible way. And delineated means to show. Now for this explanation, When the jet had reached 10,000 feet, he comes to know why the cities of the countries are located close to rivers and why the valleys are so populated. Do you know why people come and settle near to rivers? Yes, because water is essential, isn't it? Water is essential for human survival. According to the poet, land and water are essential lifelines for human survival. And that's the logic behind humans settling near rivers and valleys. That is why people often, go settle down near rivers and valleys. Land refers to the green land on which we can cultivate and make shelter. So human beings uh, normally or usually settle down near river or water bodies and in valleys where the land is fertile. So they can uh, you know survive in that area. People don't go settle down in deserts. The poet repeats the first line again to clearly show that the jet has already reached 10,000 feet and he can differentiate between land and water. Now coming to the last stanza, when the jet rose 6 miles high, it was clear the earth was round and that it had more sea than land. But it was difficult to understand that men on the earth found causes to hate each other, to build walls across cities, and to kill. From that height, it was not clear why. So when the jet rose 6 miles high, it was clear the earth was round. So when you reach more than 25, 30,000 feet, you can see that the earth is round. And it had more sea than land, but it was difficult to understand that the men on the earth found causes to hate each other, to build walls across cities, and to kill. From that height, it was not clear why. Now for the explanation. When the jet rose to 6 miles high, the poet can clearly see that the earth is round and that there is more water than land. As we all know, the earth has more of water than land. But there's a question that is arising in the mind of the poet. People are living in this land which is much lesser than water, but they are fighting with each other. They have conflicts, fights with each other. The people are dividing themselves, by building walls between them. All want to live in their small world. They don't want to go out and help each other. Instead, they build big walls between them, making them hate and kill each other. This is what is happening between different countries also. Each country has their own walls. They build big walls to differentiate each other, and they develop hatred in them, and they try to kill each other. Here the poet is trying to say that when you are above 6 miles high, no, it's not clear why people want to fight on the small land, dividing themselves between building walls, hating each other, killing each other for small reasons, trivial reasons. So the poet is bringing into our mind that in the small world, we have to live peacefully. That is the end of this poem. Now we have finished with chapter 1 and chapter 2. 2 units are done. We will be giving you the answers through in the workbook. Thank you.